On March 13, President Trump put out an executive order, and I'm not going to go through the whole thing. It's 3 pages long, but there's just a couple of high points I wanted to touch on. But in the first section, help make it so more homes can be built. We can build them faster and cheaper. And one of the sentences that it will reduce layers of unnecessary regulatory barriers, slow permitting process, and onerous mandates at all levels of government. Now, obviously, he has no control over local government or state government for that matter, but they're going to issue directives and ideas and even some sample ordinances and stuff and say, look, here's how this could be done better. There's also one down in section 2 says they shall review and revise requirements related to stormwater, wetlands, lakes, rivers, and other bodies of water to reduce housing, construction, and ownership costs, streamline regulatory and agency decision-making process, reduce property tax burdens, and increase insurability. And one of the things they're going to look at is the construction general permit for stormwater discharge. Big deal for us right now. We're going through a renew. Again, I go through and look at that when they do them, and we read them all and review, because some of the things that the regulators look at and go, wow, this is super important, we've got to do this, is just a waste of time and money. It's a huge cost for us. It's got one that it will direct and all of the cabinet level positions, but specifically for us, the Secretary of Energy, to eliminate unduly burdensome or costly energy efficiency or alternative energy requirements. So big deal for us, because energy codes, a lot of those things we deal with are pushed at the code level nationally because the Secretary of Energy pushes them. Over the Biden administration, and even going clear back to Obama, it was federal employees that would insert themselves into the code process and say, you are required to do this, which is why we had, and part of this addresses the HUD one too, where they say if you don't meet the 2021 requirements for the energy code unamended, you wouldn't be able to get that financing. Now, we talked about that before. There's a lawsuit that we have at least put that off for now, but they're trying to, the President Trump's addressing that at his level as well. Another one and this is where he's saying he was going to make suggestions to local and state regulators and give even sample ordinances and things for things like capping permitting timelines, allowing by right development for single family homes, builder's choice on certified entities for inspections and studies, so you could hire a private inspector, ensuring swift dispute resolution with government agencies and private property. That one's an interesting one to me because we've been having this discussion back and forth with the league, especially saying, look, we want some of these other options. So you're required to use what they provide and you're required to use them as the service provider. Makes them a monopoly. And so they don't have any market-driven motivation to be the cheapest or the best or the most efficient. They do whatever they want. Some do a great job, some do a terrible job, but there is nothing to drive change. Introduce the free market and say, okay, well, either you do a really good job or someone else will do the job you're trying to do. The pushback from the League of Cities and Towns has been there isn't really a problem. That's a perceived problem from a few builders that are trying to make something out of nothing. And so it's interesting when that concept gets clear to the point of an executive order at the federal level. This isn't a local city problem or a state of Utah problem. This is a national problem. This goes on everywhere, and it's recognized by everybody other than those trying to retain that power. Anyway, so I just thought it was interesting that has come clear to the top that, hey, we need to do something about that. That will make housing come on the market cheaper and faster if we break down those barriers. Anyway, great executive order. I don't know that executive orders really change things quickly or even he can. Again, he doesn't have a whole lot of authority down in these areas of government, but